Inside a hyperscale data center, the kind Google, Microsoft, and Amazon operate, there are racks upon racks of servers. Each AI training server contains somewhere between Niman and Shusiuman of the same tiny component. Most are smaller than a sesame seed. None of them have a brand name visible on them. And a Japanese company you have almost certainly never heard of makes % of them.
That company is Murata Manufacturing. And right now, in February, Bloomberg reported that Murata is exploring raising prices on those components. When a company with 6% market share explores a price increase, it is not really a question.
The component is called a multi-layer ceramic capacitor, or MLCC. Understanding why a Japanese maker of obscure electronic parts has become a gatekeeper of the global AI infrastructure boom requires understanding what MLCCs actually do, and why making them well is far harder than anyone outside the industry realizes.
A capacitor stores and releases electrical charge. In a complex circuit board, this function is essential. Processors draw power in massive, uneven spikes, and capacitors act as local shock absorbers, smoothing that demand so the chip doesn't crash or misfire. An MLCC does this with ceramic layers, thin sheets of a precisely engineered material, typically barium titanate, alternating with metallic electrodes, stacked hundreds of layers high in a package smaller than a grain of rice.
For a 5G smartphone, a single device might contain HAPEC to 10 MLCCs. For an NVIDIA AIGP board, the number jumps to roughly 10 scale that across a full AI server stack, and you arrive at those 6-digit figures. Every hyperscaler building out the infrastructure for the current AI boom is consuming MLCCs at a pace the industry has never seen. According to Murata's own management forecast, AI server MLCC demand will be 10 times higher by fiscal year Sanjit than it is today, a 30% compound annual growth rate which the company calls a floor estimate.
This is the world Murata has spent 8 decades quietly building toward. The story begins in Shinchube Sisters. In the middle of a war Japan was losing badly. Akira Murata, a 23-year-old ceramics enthusiast, set up a small workshop in an old dyeing factory in the Shijo Omiya district of Kyoto. The floor space was about Hackworth square meters. The ambition was to commercialize ceramic capacitors using titanium oxide, a material Murata had become obsessed with through his reading of German technical literature.
Most businesses founded in wartime Japan in Senshubaki Sushushi did not survive the decade. Murata's did, partly through a stroke of technical luck. Working with a Kyoto University assistant professor, Akira Murata became one of the first people in the world to successfully commercialize barium titanate as a piezoelectric transducer, a component that converts electrical signals into mechanical vibration and back. The first commercial application was a fish finder, the same physics that help a fishing boat locate a school of tuna hatch meters underwater now decouples the power delivery network of a 700-watt NVIDIA GPU.
The company was formally incorporated in December Senjobakwus with paid-in capital of 1 million yen, at the time roughly enough to buy a small car. Today Murata Manufacturing's market capitalization is approximately $1 billion.
For fiscal year Nisen Arshlu ending March Sanji Nisen Arshlu, Murata posted record revenue of approximately $10 billion, 10 trillion yen, up 9% year-on-year. Operating profit reached $10 billion, 9 billion yen. But the number the investment community is watching is the fiscal Nisen Nijin Empress. Operating profit forecast $10 billion, Sembrai Bashil billion yen, a Sendar Etho Efers % jump from the prior year. That kind of operating leverage in a company this size does not happen by accident.
Murata's revenue breaks down into 3 rough segments: About 60% comes from capacitors, the MLCC core business, now increasingly driven by AI server and automotive electric vehicle demand. About 90% comes from communications components, SAW filters, BAW filters, and RLF modules that appear in virtually every premium smartphone. And the remaining third comes from power supply components, sensors, and batteries.
The communications segment is worth dwelling on because it reveals something important about how Murata operates. SAW filter, surface acoustic wave filter, is the component in your smartphone that separates the specific radio frequency band your carrier is using from all the interference around it. In a 5G phone, there might be Guzhur of these filters. Murata commands approximately 70% of the global RF front-end market and is the dominant supplier of advanced BAW filters to premium smartphone makers.
According to research firm Yole Group, over 74% of premium smartphones incorporate Murata's BAW technology. In other words, Murata does not make one invisible monopoly, it makes several.
The MLCC market as a whole was valued at approximately 9 billion in 2011 and is projected to reach 4 billion by 2020, according to Mordor Intelligence. Murata controls over 40% of that total market. In the A-server segment specifically, the highest value, highest margin tier, its share is approximately 70%.
The top 5 MLCC manufacturers globally are, in order, Murata, Samsung Electromechanics, Yageo of Taiwan, Taiyo Yuden, and TDK. 4 of those 5 are Japanese or Korean. Chinese manufacturers, despite years of government subsidies and industrial policy aimed at building domestic component capability, have collectively reached just 0% of the global market. In automotive-grade and military-grade MLCCs, where reliability requirements are most stringent, China has made essentially no inroads.
There is a reason for this, and it comes back to the ceramics. Making an MLCC sounds simple in principle. Stack thin ceramic layers with metallic electrodes, fire them at high temperature, sinter them into a solid block, and plate the terminals. In practice, the tolerances involved are extraordinary. A high-end MLCC for an AI server might have ceramic layers just 10 microns thick, thinner than the wavelength of visible light, stacked several hundred times in a package measured in tenths of a millimeter.
The composition of the ceramic, the purity of the raw materials, the firing temperature curve, the electrode geometry, each variable affects performance in ways that take years of empirical testing to characterize. This is not a process you can reverse engineer quickly from a teardown analysis.
Murata employs Nyana people worldwide and spends roughly 9% of annual revenue on research and development, about each $1 per year. That spending funds a material science capability that has compounded since Akira Murata first read those German technical papers in wartime Kyoto. Competitors can buy similar equipment. They cannot easily replicate 80 years of institutional knowledge about how ceramic materials behave.
The current AI demand surge is crystallizing something that was always true but previously easy to overlook. Passive components like MLCCs are strategic infrastructure. They are not commodity inputs. When AI server MLCC lead times exceed Neju weeks, as they do in early Nestra, according to supply chain monitoring firm BXWBOM, a hyperscaler cannot simply switch suppliers. There is no equivalent supplier to switch to at scale, at quality, on short notice, and Murata knows this.
Bloomberg's February RR report was careful to note that Murata was merely exploring price increases. The company has not confirmed final decisions publicly, but spot prices for high-grade MLCC categories have already risen approximately 9% in early Niti Taiyo Yuden, the third largest Japanese MLCC maker, announced actual price increases of to 2% effective May. Niti Samsung Electromechanics is weighing a 2% hike. When the second and third place players move on pricing, the market leader has options.
The AI infrastructure buildout is Murata's largest demand tailwind in its history.
But the company is not merely riding it passively. In 2016, Murata began mass production of BPD power modules, vertical power delivery modules.
In February, Murata published a technical guide on power delivery network optimization for AI data centers, the kind of document that signals a company positioning itself as a strategic partner to hyperscalers, not just a component vendor. There is one final dimension to this story that does not show up in Murata's financial filings but matters enormously if you want to understand why Japan produces companies like this.
Murata is headquartered in Nagokakyo City, Kyoto Prefecture, about 6 kilometers southwest of central Kyoto. Within roughly 30 kilometers of that headquarters, you also find the global headquarters of Kyocera, Omron, and Nidec, 4 of Japan's most technically sophisticated precision manufacturing companies, all rooted in post-war Kyoto. This is not a coincidence. Kyoto has a specific industrial tradition: craft manufacturing, ceramic arts, precision instruments. The same culture that produced Nishijin textiles and Kiyomizuyaki pottery also produced the tolerance for painstaking iterative refinement that ceramic capacitor development requires.
This is the Japan factor at work. Japanese industrial geography concentrates expertise in ways that reinforce itself over generations. A company like Murata does not emerge from a government industrial policy document or a venture capital thesis. It emerges from an ecosystem of materials scientists, precision manufacturers, suppliers, and university research labs that was decades in the making and is genuinely difficult to replicate from scratch.
Western observers watching the AI infrastructure boom tend to focus on 3 layers of the stack: the software models, the semiconductor chips, and the data centers that house them. All 3 layers receive enormous analytical attention, enormous investment, and enormous public coverage. What receives almost none of that attention is the passive component layer, the capacitors, inductors, and filters that make everything else function. That layer is overwhelmingly Japanese.
Murata alone controls more of the global MLCC market than Intel controls of the PC processor market. The difference is that Intel is famous and Murata is not. That obscurity is partly deliberate. Murata sells to electronics manufacturers, not to consumers, and has never needed a consumer brand. But it is also a function of how we tend to think about technology.
The pricing moment that Bloomberg flagged in February to Arasiru is a small sign that this calculus may be changing. When AI infrastructure costs spike and analysts start tracing where the money goes, they will find Murata sitting quietly in Nagokakyo, having charged a toll on every server built for the past several decades.
Akira Murata started with a fish finder transducer in a 150 square meter dyeing factory. The company he founded now decides in some small but non-trivial way how fast the global AA buildout can proceed. The question for the next decade is what Murata does with that leverage and whether any competitor anywhere can get close enough to the quality ceiling to give hyperscalers a genuine choice.